welcome back to the Deep Threats podcast. I know Danielle is over there chit-chatting. I know she can't hear her either because I also have her muted. So welcome to the show. You have Danielle who's going to be here with us today. Thank you for being with us. Don't speak yet, Danielle, because I do not have you unmuted. This is me trying to mix things up. Hey, Ryan, how are you doing today? All right, Danielle, you're there? All right,
I'm here.
All right, so we got Danielle. If anybody can't hear anybody in the chat, please chime in. I don't know who's all out there right now chatting with us, but we are going to get into some things today. We are going to be on this window looking at Ryan's hair all day long, and we will have.
I'm always doing stuff, man. What can I say?
That's good. That's good. So let's get into just everything that's kind of happened this last week. You have, first things first, before we get to the coach signings, this was kind of breaking news at the beginning of the week. Zach Ertz was signed to the practice squad. I don't know.
It sucks for him because they're going to get eliminated next week, or this weekend. So
stop it.
All right,
I need that to not happen.
No, you want that to happen. Didn't you say you wanted the Lions to get eliminated?
No, not by the 49ers. No.
Oh, touche. Green Bay
anybody
Packers
but
fan.
the 49ers.
Wouldn't you want to see the 49ers just go as far as they could and just fail?
No. I want them to fail immediately.
All right. Why were you rooting for the Ravens next week?
This week.
This week.
First of all,
Sunday.
I'm rooting for the Ravens this week because I don't want to see the Chiefs again. I'm sick of it. Same old thing every single year. And second of all, I have to root for the Lions because I hate the 49ers with every fiber of my being. That leaves Lions, Ravens, Super Bowl, and I don't want the Lions to win the Super Bowl. That's for my division. Go Ratbirds.
Go Ratbirds. Oh, my goodness. I'm disgusted now.
Now
we've gone too far. I had to root against the Ratbirds all last weekend, and then, I lost that one. And Ryan, I know, was super feeling good that night.
Hell yeah.
Must be nice.
Why would it be not nice?
He could have been me. Sad. Crying.
Oh.
I know.
It's fine.
That could be me this weekend.
It better not be.
I'm sorry. I'm messing with things.
The Goodell bot knees for Patrick Mahomes, so I wouldn't be shocked.
I still think the Ravens have the better team in this situation here.
Speaking of that, didn't you just say there was an inactive in that Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, Joe Tooney.
Yeah.
That's huge, right?
That's a big loss for the interior. I mean, I don't know. They're gonna really struggle to stop Matt Beak. He's out. So I like that a lot. It helps tremendously. I mean, the Ravens on their whole 53-man roster right now was practicing today. So
that's like the first time ever for you guys in the playoffs.
For the past 3 years, it's just been gross. So,
all right. Yeah. I don't know why I have all this crap up.
Hey, what are you doing, man?
I got to make sure I see the chat, and I can't see the chat this way. So the only way I can see the chat. That was a fly. The only way I can see the chat is if I have it actually up on YouTube. Did you just watch me hit myself in the face?
Yes, dude. That was a fly.
Dude, it literally was right in my eye. Whatever. I was hoping nobody saw that.
All I
but
saw it was like it changed it. I was like, whack. I don't even know what to say.
All right.
It was a fly.
All right. So let's get into these coach hirings, right? We already talked a little bit about the Brian Callahan, but the most recent ones were the last 2 days, right? Which was Anna in chat goes only KJ, smacking himself in the face. So Raheem Morris, right? Raheem Morris went to the Atlanta Falcons. That was kind of a shock to my system, right? Because I had Belichick going there from the start. Why does this fit, Ryan? Is this something that you like? What's going on here? Do you think this was a good move by your boy Arthur Blank?
My boy.
I know you called me Arthur Blank the other day, which I thought was hilarious.
I mean, I think it's I don't know what I honestly think of it. I mean, like you were talking about earlier, is Raheem Morris has already kind of had his chance. It's an interesting hire. I mean, defensive-minded guy, right? They have a nice, basically like a nice core of defensive players. So it's a good hire when it comes to defense. I'm just curious where they go moving forward as far as the offensive piece goes. Like we were talking about also earlier, was where do they go with quarterback? Do they go through the draft? Do they try to move up? Or are they just going to stay where they are and maybe go after guys like Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill to, you know, I don't know. It's just I'm so up in the air with the Raheem Morris thing. It's still kind of fresh. I don't really know what to think of it. You know, defensively, I like it because their defense, they could use a guy like him, but I don't know. It just depends on the offensive coordinator they bring in. You know, who they're going to bring in to call the plays, or too many question marks still.
What about you, Danielle? Do you like this hiring? Do you think anything?
I
of
like
it?
the hiring. I was real excited about it yesterday.
Is there any in particular reason why?
No, I just like to see him get his shot after he was the interim in 2020. But I thought it was a good hire. I really did. But again, I think Brian has a good point. Like, you got to wait and see, who they hire as their offensive coordinator and whatnot, and kind of go from there. I like the hire though.
All right. We also had the another hire for the Carolina Panthers, which was Dave Canales. What do you guys, Danielle? What do you think about this guy? I mean, do you know anything about him? Is there anything you can say here?
Nah, this one I don't have much to say.
How about you, Ryan? Same.
I don't know about this.
I know that he's young. This is the first
I also
time.
know they signed him to a pretty long contract. I think.
Is that true?
I think it's like a 5-year contract.
That's standard in the NFL. They'll fire him in 2 years and pay him for the next 3.
Apparently.
I'm just saying. What was the
number?
Yeah,
here's a good point.
Dude, what was the number last year? Like $500 million in uncoached salaries? Like,
yeah, I mean, John Gruden's paid for what, the next 7 years?
like,
He's good.
It's insane.
It was a 6-year contract.
Yeah, they paid him for 6.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, John Gruden was what, 10 for $100 million?
Yeah, John was a 10-year deal, which
he
is kind of weird.
He gets a $10 million check every year.
and he uses it to just sue Goodell every time he gets a check. It's a new lawsuit that goes in play.
Why not?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually looking forward to this one because it's a new head coach making his name, hopefully with a bad ownership, right? Like, so he has to try to figure his way through this bad ownership, which a lot of people are saying like the second worst owners in the NFL right now are the Tepper, right? That's the owners. So that one's gonna be interesting to see. But I know that he was the OC for Tampa Bay, and that he had a great season with Baker Mayfield, and the thought process is he could fix Baker Mayfield. And I would argue Bryce Young probably has a similar skill set as Baker, and they're thinking maybe he can go and fix.
They're not thinking; they're hoping, right?
I don't think people are.
This is a prayer.
Yeah, I agree, and I think people are underestimating the ability of Mike Evans, right? Like, and Chris Godwin. Like,
he's not going to be there.
Yeah,
you
Mike
think they're going
Evans
to bring him back?
No. I'm talking in Carolina. Like, Bryce Young's not going to have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Oh,
they might sign him.
That was good. He's got a good point. He's free agent. He could.
That's a good point. And, well, they had the 33-year-old Thielen locked down for another 2 years. Okay, he's not taking that one serious at all. Thanks, I appreciate that. All right, I actually like this opportunity. I think it gives a new coach the ability to make a name for himself, and hopefully it's someone that can fix Bryce Young, and not even so much fix Bryce Young, just give him opportunities to succeed in this position. One more coach hiring, right? And I want to say, I'm trying to think who the other coach hiring was. Who are we missing? I know we got Harbaugh. Seattle didn't hire anybody yet, right? So that's open, and Washington's still open. Mm-hmm. Both of those positions are open. I feel like I'm missing a coach hiring. I don't know why.
Did Tennessee hire anybody?
Wheels said they needed a deep threat in the chat. Tennessee hired Brian Callahan that was the Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Yeah, and that one hurts me to the core. I've talked to Ryan a bit about this because they hired Brian Callahan. There's a lot of thought process that Bill Callahan will be going to the Tennessee Titans, who is the offensive line coach for the Browns, to go and coach for his son. That one kind of hurts me in the core because if you see what the Browns offensive line did this year with third and fourth string players, that was huge, really huge. But I don't think I have anything else on these coaches. I don't know why I can't think of the other coach that was hired because I think it was you know what I wanted to ask Danielle. And I know I asked you a little bit about this earlier. The Green Bay Packers fired their defensive coordinator, and they are looking into Staley as their DC. What do you think about this for Staley?
I'll say it again. There's also a couple other people, but that we're bringing in for interviews. But
Well, do you have the list? Do you have the list for interviews? Do you know who they are?
Yeah. The Bills linebacker coach, Bobby Babich, the Cowboys D-line coach, Aiden Durd, and the Broncos DB's coach, Christian Parker, and then Brandon Staley. Those are all the interviews they've set up so far. I wouldn't hate the Staley thing, especially because, like I said earlier, back in 2020, I think it was, when he was the Rams defensive,
right?
Yeah, something like that. When he was the Rams defensive coordinator, they were ranked. That defense was ranked first and everything. And like I said, there might be excuses there. There might be the whole Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey conversation, and did they make him a better defensive coordinator? I just think some people are built to be coordinators and some people are built to be head coaches, and maybe he's built to be a coordinator. So I don't hate it.
Did you have strawberries, Ryan? Because your thumb is super red. That's got to be the camera. Staley just isn't a great head coach, says Wheels. I think we all kind of agree. Ed likes your shades, by the way, Ryan. I think we all kind of agree with that. I don't, Ryan. What's your take on Staley possibly going there? Do you like this move? If it's a hire, do you like it?
Sure.
So nothing. Yeah, I got nothing from Ryan. It's good.
I don't have much. I really don't. When it comes to coordinators, I mean.
What do you mean you don't have much? You're the one that's been hyping up Bobby Slowick for the last 2 years.
I because I like Slowick.
But he was a quarterbacks coach when you were hyping him.
Well,
So you do have some thought processes, right?
I do, but when it comes to this guy, I don't have much. I don't have a whole lot when it comes to defensive coordinator. I feel like defense is kind of it's not the easiest thing to call, but it's easier than offense, right? I mean,
it's reactionary.
Apparently,
yeah,
not
it
the
is.
Green Bay Packers.
It's more exactly. It's a reactionary. The film's there. The specifics. Offense, it's so much more complicated. But when it comes to defensive coordinators, I mean, look, we hired Mike Macdonald, and he's doing a hell of a job. I mean, for defense, it's all about players and finding a way to make them to maximize their abilities, right? I mean, if you got man corners that are good at man, you can't make them play zone. So it's just you got to find what their strengths are and what fits your team that's built now.
Got it.
So yeah,
did we just get Bill Belichick on stream? Because I feel like you just did the Captain Obvious thing, and I love it because I don't agree with you.
It's not. I always say it. It's not a hard game. If you have man corners, get yourself a guy that knows how to call man. There's plenty of people out there that are going to be like, I don't like zone blitzing. Yeah, I mean, I think on the Manning cast, Bruce Arians hates zone blitzing. Thinks it's the worst thing ever invented. So naturally, he's going to go out and find himself a guy that's blitzes man. He wants to play cover zero. So it's just like I said. It's just that when it comes to defensive coordinator, you just look at your players you have with their strengths, and you hire a guy based off of that.
Right. All right. I mean, I don't disagree with any of what you guys said. Wheels brought up in the chat. He said that's what Cleveland did all this year is the man coverage.
Jim Schwartz was a great hire.
And I think he's stuck. I think they had. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen on this, and I know obviously I'm the Browns fan here. Did anybody see that Stefanski signed again? Because they hadn't had him signed yet.
I thought they were talking about an extension.
That's what I thought, but I haven't heard anything yet. So that kind of. And I know he talks like he's still the coach, so I'm assuming that there's some backdoor extension going on behind the scenes. But I was just kind of curious. I don't know if you guys heard anything. All right, so you know what? Let's get into some of these games talk, because I know that's what we're kind of here to do and talk a little bit about these games.
Just really quick, a heads up: the Bears hired a quarterbacks coach. Just thought I'd put that out there.
They did. Who did they hire?
Kerry Joseph.
Oh. As their OC?
The quarterbacks coach.
No, is that quarterbacks coach?
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know.
It's kind of a lateral, isn't it? I was talking about Kerry Joseph was a guy I considered to be a nice head coach candidate.
From Seattle?
Yeah.
I don't know what he did before. Wheels said Stefanski he coached in Canada?
Yeah.
The CFL?
What?
Hold on. Is this yeah.
I mean, he might have.
Are we looking at his Wikipedia right now?
No.
Your Wikipedia.
It's not his Wikipedia.
Wheels said, by the way, Stefanski signed a 5-year deal in 2020, so he's still under contract for another year. That's actually, I mean, that's actually, that hire is going to mean a lot. Because who did they hire at OC? Didn't they already hire an OC, Ryan?
Who, the Bears?
Yeah, I thought they hired an OC.
I have no idea.
Because
I know they have. They brought in what's his face to.
They brought in Cliff. They didn't sign him.
Cliff.
And I thought like two or 3 days ago, I thought they hired an OC.
Shane Waldron.
Yeah, they hired Shane Waldron. Remember, out of Seattle. Yeah, out of Seattle.
I'm confused by the Kerry Joseph thing. Bears hire Kerry Joseph as new quarterbacks coach.
So that actually, to me, does that have Caleb Williams screaming all over it?
I didn't think Justin Fields was going to come back this year, but that's just me.
I mean,
I'm not. I was already put at the stake when I said that the Bears were going to take Caleb Williams.
I don't think they're keeping Justin Fields.
I don't understand how you can move on from that pick.
I agree. I'm not saying that it's the right decision. I just don't think the Bears are going to keep Justin Fields.
That is so insane in my mind.
That sounds like the Bears organization to me, but whatever.
Whoa. That's a resident Packer. I hear a little animosity for a team there.
There's not. First of all, there's no animosity against a team that quite literally can't beat us. Why would I have animosity?
Here's my gripe about this move is like I don't understand lateral move. He's going from quarterback coach to Seattle to now Chicago.
So but they just took both, right? They took the offensive coordinator and they took the quarterback coach, and Geno is probably more of a Caleb build than he is a Justin Fields build, right? More of a scrambling pocket passer who can extend the play. That's probably that's Caleb more than Justin Fields. Chat's blowing up. I got Wheels in the chat saying he wouldn't be surprised they took Caleb Williams. Ed also said, personally, I don't think Caleb Williams has the mental stability to be a good quarterback in the NFL, which is something that I have been saying for a while. And then Ryan, you started saying that when he went into the stands after the Notre Dame game and started crying to his mom.
Yeah, he whined like a little bitch boy.
Yeah, so like we've been talking about this a lot lately, and then a lot of people keep making fun of his fingernails. So if you go into the NFL,
what about his fingernails? What did I miss with that?
Oh, he paints his fingernails.
So who cares?
No, it doesn't matter if you can't handle any criticism on the college level.
You probably shouldn't paint your fingernails, but
well, not only that, could you imagine the criticism you're going to get in the NFL?
No, DK Metcalf paints his nails.
DK Metcalf paints his nails and had threesomes. There's a difference, right? And he kind of publicly publicized that.
I think he's just big enough to beat anybody up, so he really doesn't care.
He is.
Yeah, you're gonna say something like, hey,
Yeah.
No, I think his nails are pretty.
Ed, we've brought this up constantly that one of the biggest flaws that Caleb Williams has ever said is that, one, he's publicly come out and said he didn't want to go to Chicago, but yet he declared for the draft. And then, two, he wants partial ownership of a team of
Which
whoever
you just
drafts
can't
him.
have. Is that not illegal? Am I missing something?
Oh, no, they can sign over ownership on a contract, but I think it's insane. I don't think any owner would do it.
Stupid.
The only team that would do it would be Green Bay, but they've got their quarterback at this point.
For you to sit there, yeah, you're right, we do. But for you to sit there and say that you're not signing with the team unless you get partial ownership, like, where do you get that cocky attitude from? And then go cry to your mom. That's my thing. Like, where are you getting this cocky attitude from?
That was the turn of events,
Down, like,
too. You're
50
right.
pegs. And then you're crying to your mom on the sideline. And again, like, I have no beef with you crying to your mom. I really don't. Like, I want to cry to my mom sometimes. It's fine. However, you can't sit there and say you want partial ownership of a team, sit here and talk all this stuff off all year long leading up to the draft and saying, I'm not going to, go into the draft if these teams are in the top 5, whatever. Do all that. That's my problem.
I mean, there's been like 5 quarterbacks that have dictated where they've gone in the NFL.
I hope he does get drafted by the Bears.
Right? Like Phillip Rivers was one of them, right? I believe that Eli Manning was another one. I'm trying to think who else did it. I know there was a few that have done it. They did in the NHL with Mario. He was talking about contract ownership for players. Yeah, I think ownership's out of the way owners in the NFL have been dealing with running backs, you think they're going to give a quarterback shares? Like, come on. Like, they don't even want to give you paid. Like, they're not going to give you shares for a team. So, that's why I said the only team that technically could would probably be Green Bay because they're publicly owned. So, like...
But again, like we said.
All you need is love. I get it. All right, let's move on to this. Let's go to this AFC game. Let's talk about this AFC game. All right, so we got Kansas City going into Baltimore. This is the early game. This is 3 o'clock or 3:30 on Sunday. Ryan, I'm gonna let you go second. I guess at this point I'm gonna have to be the chiefer in this show because it sounds like Danielle's already said she publicly.
Oh, you're gonna be the guy that argues the sky is fuchsia.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Do you see that little fade? You see that faded color? It almost looks like that should have been a Super Bowl, but they can't because that's the AFC.
But they can't.
Yeah. All right, Danielle, give me what you got in this game. And when I talk about the game, like let's say, give me 2 takeaways from each team to win this game. What do these 2 teams need to do? Give me one.
Kansas City needs to stop. They just, as simple as enough, needs to stop Lamar. It's really like, I thought the Bills matched up better with the Ravens whenever I was watching last week's game, Kansas City Bills. That's why I wanted the Bills so bad. I really thought the Bills could match up a lot better with the Ravens.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't see Kansas City. I really don't see Kansas City.
So what do they have to do? What do they have to do to win? Is the question.
Number 1, stop Lamar. Number 2, I probably utilize Kelsey the same way they did last game. It worked. I mean, it works all the time, but it worked. That seems to be their key to winning is Mahomes utilizing Kelsey. Lamar and the Ravens, in my mind, the Ravens have the all-around, well-rounded, perfect team.
They are probably the best team in the NFL. Yeah.
I think it's going to take a lot to stop them. I think they're doing everything basically perfectly.
It's a team of destiny right now. It feels like I completely agree with you.
And again, I've been saying that for a really long time this year. Like every time I watch the Ravens play, all I can think is how scary they look.
And they didn't have Mark Andrews for like the last 8 games or whatever.
And now you got your boy back. And if they utilize both Mark Andrews and Likely, I don't see Kansas City beating them. I don't.
All right.
I think they have the better defense. I think they have the better offense all around.
It sounds like the Ravens don't need to do anything, but just be the Ravens.
Stay the same. Stay the same consistency.
Change nothing.
Pretty much. Stay the same consistency as you've been doing.
All right, Ryan. give me the rebuttal to your team, and then give me what your team's got to do.
Rebuttal? What do you mean by rebuttal?
What is Kansas City? Or what is the door that Kansas City needs to open to beat your team?
Mahomes.
So Mahomes needs to be prime Mahomes, like prime time, like extend.
Let's not forget that Kansas City has one of the best defensive coordinators in the league in Spagnuolo. The guy's just a genius. Knows how to disguise blitzes. He's a very. I mean, I've been saying it for years. He's a scary defensive-minded coach. I don't like playing him. I mean, he makes Josh Allen look like a rookie every time they play. It's gonna be a battle, and I think that I don't know, like it's the over under. I would probably bet the under just because I think this will be a defensive game. You want to beat the Chiefs, you run the football. I saw statistics saying that they've, in the past 2 games they've given up 255 rushing yards. I mean that's in
insane.
2 games. You want to beat them, you rush the football. You manage the clock. And who better than the Ravens to rush the football, right? You got Lamar, who you guys always say is RB1, and you got Gus Edwards. We brought in Dalvin Cook. You got Justice Hill, who's no slouch.
Do you think Dalvin Cook's workload increases this week?
No. I wish it did because he's the more dynamic guy on the roster. Gus is more of a north-south guy, a bruiser back, and then you got Justice Hill, he's like a smaller version of Isaiah Pacheco, right? A real hard runner. He just doesn't have that breaking tackle ability that Pacheco has. He's fast and runs extremely hard. He's just lacks the ability that Pacheco has, and I think he lacks the vision that Pacheco has.
I was gonna say he's like a cross between Gus and Dalvin. Like
he's like the Wish.com version, right, or the Temu version.
You and this Temu version that you've been saying to me lately, like.
I see some of the stuff people get from Temu, and it's just like what they ordered and then what they got, and it's just like, oh my god.
Oh, so you're saying they purchased Justin Hill and they got something completely different?
Yeah, they ordered Pacheco and they got Justice Hill, and they're just like, I guess, all right, whatever.
That's so.
Every time I hear Pacheco's name, all I can hear is he runs like he bites people.
All right, so you're saying the success for Kansas City lies in Steve Spagnuolo. Is kind of what I'm hearing.
I really do. And obviously, it always is going to rely on Mahomes. I mean, no turnovers. Don't turn the football over, because you're going to play right in his hand if you do that.
You said this,
and vice versa.
You said this a few weeks back. The Ravens struggle against the tight end, and that's one thing that the Kansas City Chiefs extremely excel at.
When Kyle Hamilton is not on the field, yes.
Okay, so Kyle Hamilton, that makes a difference at the tight end position.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Big time.
All right. Now what were you saying the Ravens need to do to win this game?
Run the football. Down their
just time of possession all day. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you want to throw on this secondary. This is a pretty decent secondary.
Yeah, you want Kansas City you want Mahomes to be out of his comfort zone, Make him constantly want to pass. Mix it up with the Ravens. I don't like the whole thing of I wouldn't mind just rushing 4 against him. See if we can get pressure with just 4. Every now and then obviously mixing in some blitzes because Patrick Queen's a hell of a blitzing linebacker. But for the most part, see what you can get with just rushing 4. Disguise him up. Send Queen and drop a guy back. Blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying, but now, Mahomes is very deadly against the blitz.
Do you think, and I have to throw this out there because this is what this year's been like, right? Like everybody knows what this game is going to come down to in reality. Do the stripes affect this game to the point where the Ravens can't overcome it?
I hope not. I hope they. It's just. I mean, they're obviously always. Comes down to a call where it's just like it's suspect. It's a fast game. I mean, naturally, someone's always going to find something, right? It's always, you know what the new thing is now is defensive linemen doing the rip move, and they show people, you know, how he's holding them. It's like, it's clearly in the rule book that if a defensive lineman is doing a rip move and he gets to the outside of it, but it's a rip move where he's coming up underneath them, it's not a hold anymore. You can't call a holding penalty on a rip move. It's just not. It's never going to get called. I don't know. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to jinx it. Go to Danielle.
I wouldn't, dude. I'm not gonna lie. If I was him, I wouldn't be talking right now. Like I really like there were no words coming out of my mouth. I would have been like, "Hey guys, I'm rooting for the Packers this weekend," and then I would have walked off.
I see the grin. I see the grin though in your face when you're like, you know you want to say it.
You know how many times people have come up to me and were like, you know, you got to beat these guys. You know, I'm so tired of them. It's Tom Brady era all over again. You know, it's just
but the difference is like the cheating is so blatant now. At least Tom Brady took 10 years to figure out they were deflating balls. Now it's just so obvious, and I think that's the struggle for a lot of people. Like I have a hard time defending the Chiefs.
No, I mean the Patriots. It was Spygate and then Deflategate. You know, now it's basically the Chiefs have the NFL in their pocket. Like I said, the Goodell bot's on his knees. I mean,
it's weird. It's weird. Like I see the grin though. It's hilarious. I agree with both you guys. Like there's not much here I could say here. I think that when it comes down to this game, I think that Patrick Mahomes and Lamar, they are the quarterbacks in the top 5 for a reason, right? Like both these guys are going to be hugely impactful in this game, and I think it comes down to these guys' shoulders. They get paid to play this game at the level they do for the reason they do. And I think that both of these guys are going to make big plays. It's whoever makes the best plays wins the game. And I know that's a Captain Obvious statement, but I truly think the best quarterback wins this game because I don't think the defenses, who, by the way, are 2 top-tier defenses in the NFL with points allowed, right? Like you got Team 1 and Team 2 for points allowed in the NFL. I don't think the defense is going to matter at this point. I think it comes down to which quarterback makes the best plays. So, give me your scores, Danielle, for this game. What do you think score wise could be? Ryan, go ahead, think about that because I know you don't want to say it, but
I wouldn't even make Ryan say a score for this. That's just mean. That's just wrong. I wouldn't.
He's been calling scores all year. It's what's one more game?
Give me I don't know, 24-20.
Ravens?
I don't know. That's going to be the final score.
I think I'm going to go higher than that.
All right, I'll accept that. I know it's Ravens, but I'll accept the non-acknowledgement of the winning team. He's like, I hate this.
I don't even know what the over/under, the total is of this game.
I can give it to you. Give me 1 second.
Actually,
I have like 90 pages up, so. All right.
Yeah, I'm curious what the over/under is because the Ravens' defense is playing very, very well. You know,
right.
Over/under on DraftKings is 44.5.
Yep, 44.5. Yep.
So they're seeing it too, and I just predicted the under. So
you literally predicted the 44.
Yeah.
So you hit it on point. And you guys are only getting a 3.5 point favorite, which means you guys are actually favored by 5, because that's that 1.5. Ed says 28-24 Ravens.
Actually, isn't that saying that we're underdogs?
No. You're favored. You're giving.
No, you're favored.
You're giving 3.5 points to the Chiefs. Wheel
Right,
says 30. What?
Don't we get 3 points for just being at home? Or
no,
like
it's a 1.5. Home field advantage is a 1.5. So yes, you're right. It should be. I had it backwards. You're right. It's 2 points. Yeah. It's 2 points.
Technically, they're saying that the Ravens are almost they were almost
2 points.
underdogs.
Yeah, it's saying that they're a 2-point favorite if you give the 1.5. You're right. I had it backwards. Wheels says, I'm just happy the Packers are continuing to be contenders. I don't know why he says that. And then Johnny says 18-15 Ravens. So
I went way higher than that. In my head, I got it like 31-27 Ravens.
If it's that kind of game, I'm not making it.
That's why I said I think it's going to be a little bit higher than that. I really do.
That's too much
It's not.
scoring.
You're not getting into the Super Bowl. Easy.
Ryan, will
It's
you
not
be
gonna
here
not be a
tomorrow
heart
at 3?
I'm not gonna make it through that game. I'm telling you, if there's that much scoring.
Oh my God, I kind of agree with Ryan, but I'm gonna differ a little bit. I'm gonna go 23-20, and I'll go the Ratbirds because again, I don't want Patrick Mahomes in another one. I really don't. And you be honest, it's almost like betting against Brady at this point, right? Like
They need to lose.
I agree.
Hey, you know what? I saw something today. I'm gonna cut you off because I was reading this, and this is a guy from Twitter that I like, and I'll give him a shout out just in case. But Garrett Ferguson, he pointed this out. In 2012, Ray Lewis season-ending injury on October 15th, right? Mark Andrews season-ending injury on November 16th. They both returned in 2012. Ray Lewis returned in 2012 when we won the Super Bowl. Mark Andrews is now returning. In 2012, our first playoff game was against star rookie Andrew Luck. We played in 2023 against C.J. Stroud, and that was our first playoff game. In 2012, the Ravens played the anointed GOAT in Tom Brady. We beat him, and now we're playing the other anointed GOAT in Pat Mahomes. We won the Super Bowl against the 49ers that year. Is the script already written? That's all I'm going to say.
So, Brian, I need to speak because I think that's what jinxed my team last week.
Is the script?
Tell me that the NFL has not tweeted about that yet.
He's the first person I've seen
NFL,
tweet
right?
that. What's that?
Been pointed out by the NFL. This is somebody else, right?
Yeah. He said it was somebody else.
Last week, the NFL decided to point out the things that were similar between our 2010-2011 Super Bowl and this season. And as soon as they pointed it out, look what happened. If the NFL finds a way to notice that.
Did you see the stats between Roquan and Ray Lewis that year?
Oh, they're identical. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on from this game. I can't wait to watch this game tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. Or Sunday. I mean, I forgot I'm on Friday. All right. Moving into that next game, we got Detroit going into San Francisco. The last time Detroit played a top 5 defense, they did not look good. They did not look good. Ryan, I'm going to let you take it on this one. Let me know what you like and give me your must-haves for these teams to win this game.
Well, what's the total on this game? Can you give me that?
Yeah. It is 51.5, and San Fran is favored by 7.5 points. That's a crazy line for a title game. Though. That's a crazy line for a title game.
Well, I'm gonna be real about it. I think the 49ers are a far superior team than the Lions.
They belong in the AFC.
Getting Debo helps. He's healthy. He's back. He's gonna play.
I don't think he's healthy.
Brock Purdy without Debo is like a lost dog without his owner. I mean, he needs Debo.
Not wrong.
He needs him so bad. He's the motor. The CMC is like the heart, right? And then Debo's the veins that gets the blood throughout the body. I mean, they need this guy. So it is what it is. Brock Purdy, I think the 49ers, they win this pretty handedly. I want to say it's going to be like a 35-20 game. I don't really think it's close. 49ers they're a better team defensively. Jared Goff, puts up a fight for a little while, but I think the 49ers start to run away with the game.
Is this Jared Goff's last stand in your mind? The way you just said that?
I don't think it's a last stand. I just think that, I don't even know how the Lions got this far.
Well, they improved by 1 game from last year. That's how.
I mean, yeah, for me, the Lions they're still some corners away. Their secondary is suspect. They need another receiver to help Amon-Ra. I mean, could you imagine if that guy had a actual lethal, like, outside besides
Jameson
Laporta?
Williams?
What's that?
Jameson Williams?
Yeah, I mean, if Jameson Williams was at all what he was projected to be, I mean, it would definitely help. But they need a boundary player to let Amon. Like they're not ready yet, in my mind. The 49ers are ready. They want another shot at it with a healthy quarterback.
All right. How about you, Daniel?
I don't know. This game gives me the ick. That's what I'm calling it. It's the ick. It's the battle of the ick for me. Okay.
Naturally, you're a Packers fan.
Yeah, and she unfortunately has to root against San Francisco, but root against Detroit. Can you get a tie?
Yeah, but my no. I really do think Kyle Shanahan outcoaches Dan Campbell in this game. This game's just bugging me, and my biggest thing is I know for a fact that since I'm rooting for the Lions, they're gonna screw me, and I know the 49ers are gonna run away with this game, which is why I need the Ravens to win, so that the Ravens can beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. That's the only way this is gonna work. Okay.
I think the Chiefs beat the 49ers also. So
the other thing is the thing that I think the 49ers are going to need to do in order to win this game, and it's not – they've got the better team all around, I think. But I think as long as they put pressure on Goff, easy. I mean, easy. You put pressure on Goff and you win this game easy. You get him to screw up, you win this game easy. Score prediction, I think it's closer. I don't think the 49ers run away with this game. I think it comes down to bad coaching decisions on Dan Campbell.
Players coach, man. Makes mistakes.
I could see it being a higher scoring game.
I mean, the over-under is 51.5. That's by a touchdown more than the Ravens-Chiefs game.
I still don't think it's like a 35-20 scenario.
And the chat said, don't forget about, George Kittle either.
Kirby Joseph is going to take out George Kittle. Don't you worry, guys. I'm just kidding. It's not going to happen.
We were talking about this. We were talking about this earlier.
Nope.
She's like, Kirby Joseph is such a dirty player, but I hope he takes out.
Nope, I didn't say none of that, and I can't say it live on air. That's so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I got beef. All right, I got mad beef, but we're gonna leave it at that. Final score, we'll go 38-31.
Wow,
49ers.
That's a high score playoff game. That is super high score.
There was a reason for it.
That is crazy. I kind of agree with you guys, but at the same time, like, there's just so much good weapons on Detroit. Like, if they could just run the ball, which the 49ers do struggle against at times.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
If they could just run the ball with Monty and Jameer, I think
back and forth, man, they can do it.
I think that's their way to win the game, the Lions. I agree with you that the heart of Dan Campbell is not better than the coaching of Dan Campbell, which is a problem for Detroit. But I'm going to be honest, he wins that game if the refs don't screw him. But there was 2 penalties called on that play. And if he would just sometimes make the smart move and not the fan move, I think Dan Campbell wins these games.
I don't even know if it's did you say the fan move?
Yeah, so, like, I think he plays Madden too much, right? Like, he's always going for 2. He's always trying to get the touchdown.
My biggest problem with Dan Campbell, and this has always been my problem with him all year. I'll say all year. I've said it in the past, but I'll really say this year. He plays as if he's got nothing to lose still. And that's not the case anymore. You do have something to lose, and you don't need to go for 2 every time. And you're getting bailed out of these situations with flags being thrown, and then you're like, do again. Stop.
I agree.
The game.
But so the chat says, and I agree. I kind of agree with Ed on this one, and I said this last week too. I think everybody for the Green Bay Niners game, the best running back wins, right? Like, and CMC became the best. No, of that game. So, like, and I know you're an Aaron Jones fan, but the best running back in that game wins the game. And Ed says the best running back stat line wins this game. So if it's Jameer and Monty and they do better than CMC and Elijah, that's who wins the game in Ed's mind. And I kind of don't disagree, because obviously that coincides with time of possession, right? And if Detroit can keep that offense of the Niners off the field, right, that's the best way for them to win, is Jared Goff to maintain possession on his side of the ball. What were you going to say, Danielle? Because I saw you got a little hyped when I said that.
No, it was just CMC had 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
Still had less rushing yards. I just wanted to put that out there.
But he still has a better stat line. But he's still
Whatever.
I
needed to say it out loud, okay?
Hey, I will
You're gonna
agree with you
make
there.
myself feel better.
Detroit's tough against the run. They're very tough against the run.
And San Francisco's weak against the run when they're put up against good running backs. So these teams kind of match up a little well. And if Jared Goff needs to go downfield, he can. And their safety's out. Like, they have safety injuries, right? So as much as I agree with you, Ryan, by the way, and I've said this multiple times, Debo is the MVP of that team. Without Debo on the field, they lose games, right? Like, this became very, very apparent when Debo was out for 3 or 4 games in the middle, and the Browns took out Debo, and then he was out shortly after the next few games, and I think they lost 3 games straight, because they lost to Minnesota, they lost to the Browns, and I can't remember, they lost to one other team. But that alone matters, and if Debo's playing at 80 to 70%, those snaps that Debo's not on the field is going to make an impact. So I'm going to actually kind of take the counter argument here for you guys. I 100%, in my mind, think that Detroit comes over top on this game, just because I think the run game and the talent is better and younger, and it can play all 60 minutes of the game. And I think in this situation, it's going to be Detroit 28-27, final plays of the game. That's what I think.
I hope you're right.
If that's the game, and the good team wins, the good guys win at 3:00, and that game happens later at 7.
Yeah, I know you're ecstatic. Are you just gonna wear the ring like immediately? Like,
I've already got it. Married to the game, baby.
Yeah, because I know 100% that the way you guys destroyed Jared Goff last time, what was it, like 24-3?
33
24.
to 6. I think it was 33-6.
Dude, they annihilated them. I mean, the Ravens absolutely. That was the first time the Lions got embarrassed all year. They annihilated them, and I loved to watch it.
Yeah, it was like 30. I think it was 33 to 6.
I know they didn't score a lot, but
the Raven 38 to 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it. Against playoff caliber teams, the Detroit's 2-3 during the regular season.
They're not good against good defenses. I agree with that, but I think
I mean, against good defenses, I didn't even think about that. I mean, do you consider Green Bay to have a top defense?
Who?
So they beat Kansas City.
I know that.
No, he's talking Detroit. Yeah, but they beat Detroit. Detroit beat Kansas City without Chris Jones.
Okay. Yeah,
that was
you're
the
right.
first game of the year.
Yeah, 21-20 they won. But against Dallas,
Ed had to bring it up in
lost.
chat. The 2 better teams lost to the Browns.
They lost to Dallas by a point at the end of the year. I don't know. It's such a coin. It's a coin flip, right? Because I mean, we know what Detroit's about. I mean, they can be very lethal, and Jared Goff's a gunslinger, right?
If Jared Goff doesn't turn over the ball, right? Like, I don't think the 49ers can beat him.
I mean, they're a beatable team, right? Their secondary is very weak. They're not very good against the pass. They're very good against the run. They're
Brian
not good
Branch
against
will show up in this game.
I was gonna say, but I hope so.
He'll show up in this game.
I don't know how badly I want to put the NFC Championship game on a rookie's shoulders, but if that's what they got to do.
What do you mean? You would all day you would hand the ball to Jameer all day. That's a rookie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's the most dynamic running back on that team.
He might be outside of CMC, right? Like he might be the most dynamic running back in the NFL right now. I've seen him run, and I can't disagree with you, or I can't agree with you more that maybe he should have been utilized more often. But they made it this far, and I told you that they were trying to save him for the playoffs, and that's what I was saying.
Dan Campbell is a man of his word. They signed David Montgomery to a 3-year deal, and they promised them a workload, and he gave him a workload.
Ed brought up a great point. Aiden Hutchinson against Trent Williams. Can Trent Williams stay healthy the whole game?
They play on a completely opposite side of the football.
I do. Does he only play off the right side, Aiden? Okay. Because I've noticed that too. He's like TJ. Like he kind of zones on that side.
I wouldn't say only, but the majority of him, yes, is on the right side.
Ed's like immediately in chat. Ed said Aiden moves around.
It would technically be the left side of the line.
Of the D line, correct? Yes. Yeah. Trent Williams best left tackle in the NFL right now has to stay healthy. If he does not stay healthy,
they have a good right tackle. He's not great, but he's good. It's Mike McGlinchey. I mean, he's fine. Their line's pretty good at tackles.
I'm gonna be honest with a lot of people. I don't like either of these games. I think they're both gonna be close games. And guess what? They're title games. They should be. They should be close games. Like a lot of people are like,
these are the two best teams in the NFC, right? Two best teams in the AFC, two best teams in the NFC.
Well, two best teams in the playoffs.
I know it crushes you, but it is what it is. Like this is where it's at. This year, these are the teams.
Whatever.
I told you not to bring me on this podcast. It's too soon.
Are you crying?
No, I have something. I actually have something in my eye. I will cry right now. So.
She's crying because love isn't here anymore.
So much, okay?
All right, that's all I got for this show today. Do you guys have any takeaways for today? Any prop bets that you guys really, really like this weekend? Any?
I mean, I think I would if I was a bettor, I would jump on whatever Mark Andrews' receiving prop was because it's probably very low.
You think they're going to come in and just use them right away, huh?
My buddy Shane was talking to me, and it was like 26 yards receiving or something like that. So
smash
over. But that might have changed since they made him active.
I mean, if people were smart and they were paying attention, they noticed he was trending towards playing this week if they made it, because he practiced all last week.
Yeah.
So he was trending towards playing this week. So if you were a smart bettor and you bet the over on his receiving this week, good for you. Kudos.
Yeah, because I don't know what the line sits at right now. So,
right.
Danielle, is there any props you like NFC, AFC game? Anything you kind of like? Because I know you sometimes get lucky with them 2 touchdown games. So can you give me any props for you?
You know what's messed up, and I know Sean's gonna say the exact same thing. There's one thing that I would want to bet this weekend. Please don't ask why. Jared Goff to run in a touchdown. Jared Goff anytime touchdown score.
You know what? That probably pays. It's probably 1 to 9, right? Like it's probably 900.
It's probably asinine.
Like a Jared Goff rushing touchdown. It's probably like
not passing.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah, it's probably like plus 1,000.
That's why I said 900. So that would make sense. Yeah, 9 to 1,200. You know what? Our chat's avid gamblers. I'm surprised they haven't already give us that line yet.
Go 2 touchdown score. Ooh.
I wouldn't be opposed to that because, okay, how about this question? Which quarterback out of the 4 quarterbacks, and 2 of them are runners, rush for a touchdown in these 2 games?
Lamar, I mean.
Obviously Lamar.
But
Lamar and Jared Goff.
If you're a bettor, though,
I think Brock Purdy has as many rushing touchdowns as Lamar. Oh my God! I got to screenshot that. Oh God, they're still frozen. That's screenshotted. You both froze the same way. The same way.
But are you okay? There's no way that's accurate.
I like how Ryan's looking it up right now.
I am.
Regular season, I think they had the same amount of rushing touchdowns.
I mean, that's wild if that's true. But then again, Lamar kind of took a step back.
Hey,
from
why'd your
Russell.
head come up? Is it true?
Huh?
Is it true? Ed says not even close, so I could be wrong. But I
don't think it. Damn, man. Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts need to know how to.
Well,
throw
Jalen
football.
Hurts cheated, right? That's what you all like to say. The tush
I'm
push.
trying to find.
13 of
see
his touchdowns.
Brock Purdy had two rushing touchdowns
Yeah, Lamar
this
had
year, and
5.
Lamar had 5.
All right. I'll give
When
it to
you
you.
said that gave me an aneurysm.
You both
God
had,
damn.
you broke. I broke you both on screen.
I think
it's all
my
right.
heart stopped.
Ed said in the chat, Hurts likes his ass grabbed.
What?
That's what Ed said in
he
the
likes
chat.
to get-
Jalen
he
Hurts
does.
likes his
Grab
ass
that
grabbed.
ass. Like,
He likes that little goosey there.
That's how he goes that extra inch.
I would go an extra inch too, but
All right,
Knuckles.
man. I ain't got nothing else for you guys today. I appreciate you guys being here on a Friday night. It was a good conversation, good chat.
yeah, I mean, whatever.
We'll try to do this more often. Danielle, give me any takeaways you want for today, like anything you got to say to anybody watching. Gestick's in the chat too, so I'm sure he appreciates you being here. So
any takeaways?
Yeah.
Anything I want to say to the people?
yeah,
People?
Preferably football related.
Yeah, listen.
I don't know where
Listen,
this is going.
This is all I have to say. It's all love, baby. We'll be back. We'll be back. Back is back.
Oh,
We're coming
man.
for everybody 2024.
Oh, now she's rhyming.
First.
She's
You
determined.
heard it here first.
All right, Ryan, give me any takeaways you got for today.
Go Flock.
All right, flocka, right? All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and win your bets. Peace out. I'm trying to mute you guys.